What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, and Dillian, the Body Snatcher Whyte. Get this. The Gypsy King claims he punched fellow Brit's head in during sparring sessions, and the Body Snatcher accused the WBC champion of changing his name to or from Luke. Wow. Okay. Tyson Fury's all-British showdown with Dillian Whyte looks to be set for early next year as the Gypsy King makes his homecoming title defense. But rumors have been swarming around the sparring, okay? I did a Sparring War special about these two guys. And I was waiting when Tyson Fury was going to respond because this was very important. Dillian Whyte claimed that he knocked out Tyson Fury a few years ago, okay? I remember, I think it was in late 18 or early 19, Dillian Whyte claimed that he knocked Tyson Fury out, and it was like a guy that kind of looked like Dillian Whyte, and he caught this guy that kind of looked like Tyson Fury and then knocked him out cold, but those weren't those two guys, okay? Now, they have sparred together, as you can see, pictures of those two sparring, getting it in, you know, and a couple short, small clips have happened. But, you know, those sparring sessions would be absolute classic if they, you know, reach the mainstream, which I doubt. Maybe if for the buildup, if it was competitive, certain people could leak them out. And I think that would be very good because someone has footage of those guys getting it on. But, you know, sparring is one of those practice mode things. And you have to have a level of integrity when it comes to keeping that confidential. And I think that's what people do. But they did show very 5-second clips of these guys in slow-mo fighting, going back and forth. And it looked like, of course, even in that exchange, it looked like Dillian Whyte was going to the body of Tyson Fury. And of course, yesterday, if you saw my video with Tyson Fury taking those body shots, getting prepared for with that medicine ball, getting prepared for somebody that's similar or that could have this a similar assault on that particular midsection. Okay, so we go on to let's see here. See, we know what Tyson Fury said, but now Dillian Whyte talks about the name Luke. He said, Whyte's previous relationship with Fury led to a shocking claim last month that the latter's real name is Luke, which is currently listed as his middle name. And Dillian Whyte said this. He said, my real name is Dillian. I know his real name is Luke. He changed it to Tyson to make himself sound harder. People can have a little look around on the internet and see for themselves. In boxing, the name Tyson is a lot more sellable than Luke. A lot of what Tyson does and says is game. You can never take anything he says seriously or for face value. He says he might say he wants to fight me sometimes, but how can you trust a man who doesn't even use his own name? Wow. Okay, so of course, we know what happened with the WBC, and they're, you know, postponing the mandate because of the legal action that Dillian Whyte had against the WBC and all that, you know, and it's been leading to different, you know, from frustrations from Dillian Whyte, obviously, but, you know, it is what it is in this situation. And saying what we say, let me counterpunch. Tyson Fury, I remember when he said certain things about Jarrell Miller. And I know how Jarrell Miller responded, and it wasn't really convincing that Jarrell was really telling the truth because he denied it, but it was almost like it had to be drug out of him. He didn't even want to talk about what Tyson Fury said. If someone knocked me down 7 times and it was a lie, that's one thing. But, you know, but if if it's the truth, then I don't want to talk about it. And that's the vibe that Jarrell gave. Well, what's that have to do with this situation? Well, in this situation, Dillian claims that he dropped Tyson Fury and knocked him out, or dropped him a couple times, he said. And Tyson Fury said, I smashed his face in. Well, think about what Tyson said, though. I smashed his face in. I mean, that could mean, you know what that could mean? That could just mean I punched the fellow Brit's head in during sparring. Okay, well, that just means you punched him. That ain't really a lie, but people can look at that as, or construe that as, hey, I beat this guy up in sparring. Whereas he just said, hey, I punched the fellow Brit's head in during sparring. Well, I mean, you just punched him. That could mean he just punched him. I mean, I think that was an exaggerated thing. But this is what don't you hear, though? Okay, let's think about it. You don't hear Tyson Fury saying he didn't drop me twice. That didn't happen. Okay, and if he said it, I haven't heard it. Okay, for the sake of argument, people, well, he did say it didn't happen. Well, I haven't heard him say that in regards to what Dillian Whyte said recently. Okay, because again, normally when a person is lying, that person is there to defend the lie with the truth. And we haven't heard Tyson Fury talk about any of that. He's just saying, I punched his freaking head in or whatever, the Brit's head in. But you didn't say what he didn't do to you wasn't true. Bars. Do you see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? So, that's just more reason to fight, okay, for the buildup. And this is what I see. I see Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte as the next big fight that could happen. Of course, besides Alexander Usyk and Joshua too, but that's a redo. That's a rematch. But I'm talking about a fresh, new, big fight. That's the next best one. Okay, there is nothing that Tyson Fury can do that's bigger than Dillian Whyte at this point. I mean, damn sure ain't going to see a part 4 of of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. I don't think I want to see that. And I don't think that helps any of those guys fighting each other again right now. If Deontay Wilder fights 3 times and whoops 3 asses on top guys, then maybe we can look at it or revisit it. But until then, he hasn't done anything to redeem himself, to get his confidence back or any of that stuff. But Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury is a fight that should happen for a lot of reasons. For one, it's just the best thing or the right thing to do. For two, I think these guys with their style matches up. One's kind of wild and very, very aggressive like Dillian Whyte. I think that will lead to a fight with someone that's really technical, that's learned the Crunk style, and he doesn't move as much anymore, to have a very, very interesting clash and a showdown. Just because of those facts. Because Dillian Whyte's going to come to win. And Tyson Fury hasn't lost, and he doesn't know how to lose. So, since the claims have been set, since Tyson Fury claimed that he did this in sparring, I think they should settle the score in the ring. You guys tell me what you think about Tyson Fury and his comments towards Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte's comments towards Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.